Hello, Gundam fans. So I'm trying out a new line from Bandai about Gundams called Mobility Joint, and this is Volume 4. But unfortunately, I don't know when this came out. I don't see any sort of date. I have a suspicion. I have a suspicion it might be 2023. I'm not. I can't make sense of that. So, 01 of 03. Don't know. So what I learned online is you get a box, and in this case it says MJ Mobility Joint. So basically that gives you a basic figure. This is a Geara Zulu, I believe. But they also have something that is EX, which is like the extra parts that you can put on to one or two of the other figures in the collection. So I believe this is the collection of number 4. 4 robots and 3 accessory packs. Okay. My first one, so I don't know. You can see kind of a weak frame, but we'll see. These aren't very expensive, so what do we got here? Yeah, so straightforward is this look, and then if you add the EX parts, you get a boosted up look, and it basically shows you all the other sets. So that's nice to know. Oddly, again, no date though, and no clear way to open it. So I'm just gonna tear into this. Let's see if there are instructions printed on the inside or something. It looks like a miniature model kit, some gum, and no printing on the inside. Okay. So we got baggies, which are separating the pieces, keeping them from scratching themselves. There's a number 3 on this one. You get parts on molded runners. So it's basically looking at like a really basic model kit, which I'm okay with. I don't really like painting stuff, so the more parts there are, the more painting there usually is. So the question is, can we make this thing look decent just without, will it look okay without paint? That's what I'm hoping for. So now we have some stickers, which are very lame. You don't really want to use stickers. I think this is meant for children, so not like an adult model kit. And yeah, it's nice that we have this type of green here. We have a really dark green here on 3C, and then 3D is like a dark gunmetal finish. 3E, more probably that frame. And that's interesting that the frame came already assembled, but where's the shoulder? Right? I'm really let down if this is missing that shoulder. Maybe it doesn't because it's got an asymmetric shoulder or something. And you actually see this is yellow. It's painted on that dark green, so they took care of some of the assembly already. That's nice. These must be the legs. 3E. There, and the hands. So I don't think it's really complex. I'm gonna just start clipping stuff off here. You could probably just tear it off too, but I don't know how much of that's gonna be exposed and visible. I'd rather take the few extra minutes, try to get some cleaner cuts here instead of just torn plastic. So 2 hands, and they both look like grippy hands, so that's good, or fists. So you can basically hold a weapon in either side. It's interesting that they would number these parts and yet not tell you how to put it together. So looks like a shoulder pad here. The shield that goes on a shoulder. I don't think I'm going to fast forward this video. Obviously you can skip right to the end, but I basically want to know how long it takes for me to put this together. Maybe you want to know as well. I gotta say, the parts have nice molded details on them, very similar to an actual larger Gundam model kit. All these little nooks and crannies that you can put panel liner in, or colored paint or something. Some of these cuts are a little tricky without destroying it. Got a runny nose. I have an air conditioner blowing right on me, so that's another reason why I'm always sniffling. And I also have 2 cats, so I think that's the main reason, is a lot of cat hair. Some of these cuts are definitely tough. Well, alright. I'm not going to bother cleaning up the edges. Let's see if we can figure this out. This clearly looks like a leg. So does this go on here? I would have to imagine. So the frame, nice snapping sound. It's not overly loose right now. Every joint seems pretty tight, so that's good. You can see, you can spin the upper torso, but there's actually a pivot to the side as well. As you can see, there's a hinge up there, or it's actually not a, well, I guess it is a hinge. So that's nice, and then that hinge has a peg that you can see going into this hex hole here on the bottom. And so that hole continues on. You could put a peg stand on there, so you could have this thing flying around or jumping or on a stand. So that's nice. Now the shoulder here, we have a peg with a ball going into the shoulder, so you can get a rotation and whatnot. But you also have a butterfly here in the upper torso, and you can angle that up and down. So that's actually an impressive amount of movement. Look at this, that's cool. Very nice. I'm actually more impressed than I thought it was going to be. So I think this is like the inner frame. Some of it's exposed on the outside, and what's nice is these details are raised quite a bit. So you might be able to just take a Sharpie and paint that gold with a Sharpie. Or white, or I don't know, whatever lighting instrument you have. I'll deal with that stuff later. Let's just try to get this thing together. So if this is the backpack, I assume it goes in this way because the 2 pegs, right? I have no idea if I'm doing this the correct way. But this looks like the front or the back of the leg. All I know is there's a hole here, so I'm guessing this has to go onto this piece. Right. Now the other one has a bunch of pegs, which coincidentally would go like this or this. I guess it has to go in this way. No, that can't be right. This way. Okay, so that's good. I assume that's the front. Yeah, that looks like a kneecap. Where'd the other one go? So, like most Bandai products, no glue and nice tight friction fits. So very nice. Naturally, I didn't clip it so well there, but we'll see what happens. So far, so good as far as the detailing goes. I gotta sneeze, hold on. Okay. Oh, here's the other shoulder, by the way. I found that. But this one has big pegs coming out of it. See? Pivot pegs. This one does not. Just looking at that back photo, I guess this shoulder goes on here. Or like here? Yeah, it seems odd, but I think it's supposed to... These two little nubs on this shoulder piece go into these grooves here. Basically this cutout, these cutouts want to go face the bottom or face the ground. Huh, alright. Might be easier to actually put the forearm. So the forearm's gonna pop in here. Okay. Yeah, that's a little unsightly. Sorry if I'm losing focus. I'm not looking through the screen. It's impossible to make stuff that way. You have no depth perception, you know, looking at the screen. So, alright, so there's a fist missing. And that's gonna go in here. Yeah, pretty good. Nice tight fit. It doesn't pivot much. You know, it's gliding with the, but it does get a little bit of action there, so that's nice. So I think it might make sense to do that first before you put this on. I don't know if it's supposed to lock down there. Like, there's a thinner part. I don't think it is. I think it's supposed to just stop around there. Okay, so far so good. I think this has to go onto these pegs. I see. Yeah. Again, it might make sense to actually build the lower arm first. Just so you realize this should be down and not like, well, you know what? Put that back on. I guess that's as far in as it goes. Before I had it horizontal, but I don't think that's right. I feel like this is not secure. I feel like it has to pop in. Okay, yeah, that was the problem there. And that hand fell out of here. Or something. Nope, that's the head. Alright, so now that that's facing down, I will build this shoulder where this peg faces the outside, because I think the shield's going to go onto that peg. So that... The front looks like it's got that groove. So there's the back though. It's got this pin going to the back. Okay, so now we have the shield, and there's some molded details behind it. And so that can pivot a decent amount actually, right? Actually quite good actually, very impressive. I don't know if that's the front or what. This is really problematic. It doesn't feel like it's snapping in. It just kind of rests there. Okay, this looks like a skirt for the back. So there's a peg thing. There's also a notch here. Hold on. I might have this backwards, but I don't think I twisted the torso. Well, that's interesting. That whole thing just came apart. So, well, anyways, I guess it's a good opportunity for me to put this in here. Now pop that back together. hopefully. I think that's as tight as it goes. Alright. So we got some feet. There's no actual bottom of the foot, saving on plastic. But I guess that's probably the best place to save on plastic, because you can just stand it on, you know, the table. But for jumping poses and stuff, it's going to look really obvious. I see. I think this is like the front skirt. And I don't know, maybe this is the bottom here. Yeah, I suspect it's supposed to go like this. And then you have these little shields here. Which side goes where, though, I don't know. Oh, I think they go this way. They wrap around horizontally. It was really hard to get that peg into this recess. Let's try it off the thing. So you notice the cup is on the top. I'm pretty sure it has to be that way, right? Because it's kind of clearing this thing. Alright, well, it's nice that you get a little articulation there in the skirt armor. So I have to assume this must be down. Okay, so the head, we have the bottom of the head, and it got yellow already painted, which is great. I don't have to sit there and paint stuff. And then the mono eye. Yeah, so it requires a sticker. I'll probably add a jewel bead or something there. It's interesting, these ridges. And then the helmet, just 3 pins. What's nice is, hold on, finish this. You have a little finger tab, so you can move that mono eye just by taking the head off. So where's the sticker? So a pink one, eh? And it looks like white for all these accents. Right now it looks pretty weak without a mono eye. Oh boy, I just know these stickers are gonna fall off. But I gotta say, it's actually, even without the stickers, the only thing missing is the mono eye. It looks pretty good already. So the gun is really well molded too, but there's a lot of hollowing out, it seems. But oh well. So it's not a round handle. It's kind of squarish. You know what? I'll just put it on this side. Fits nicely. So how big is this thing? That's what I'm wondering now. It is like over 7 centimeters, like a little over 7 centimeters, a little under 3 inches. Definitely taller than a Converge, that's for sure. Bigger than a Converge, but much smaller than an SD model kit. It's actually pretty cool. I like it. Oh boy, do I even want to waste time putting these on? See, the problem with like this stripe here, it's a ridge here, so that's an air pocket. You know, it's just gonna start peeling off. So, but there's no way I can paint that graphic on. All right, what time? In 21 minutes, having never put one of these together, and discussing a lot of stuff, I put this together to give you an idea. So I would have to assume you could do this in 15 minutes, your very first time. maybe even 10 minutes if you've done it a few times. But that's before stickers. Well, let's try this out. I don't think it's going to work well. I have a suspicion this logo goes on the back. And then I have to wrap this short end over. And I've already messed up. So, yeah. Okay. But as you can see, I think any child could handle this. But look at this. It's just not going to look nice. You know, it's a sticker. It's definitely not paint. So, yeah, now you get an idea. I'm not going to continue with the stickers. That's so wrinkly, it's ugly to look at. Alright, well, I used my good old Alexan model bit thing and drilled out that mono eye because I want to have it spin. If you just glue it to the surface, when you look down at the top view of this thing, if the thing sticks out too much, it's going to collide with the green here. So, in fact, I wonder if it is. No, it does spin, but I can't actually spin it all the way because I think that the thing is literally colliding with the green. I didn't resist it enough, but you know, I'm okay with that movement anyways. That's fine. I already took the sticker off the sleeve there, and it leaves paper residue, all that sticky stuff, you know. But I'm afraid to use sticker remover because I have a feeling it's going to eat the plastic. So I'm going to have to go over it with like Q-tips and water and soap or something like that. And then I'm going to paint it later, but not for today's video. It's too time consuming. So essentially I would say avoid the stickers. It just makes it look worse, I think. I think the way it is right now, it has enough molded details. You know, I think you could just get away with panel liner and it'll look nice. It actually looks, I think, fine right now. So these are just garbage. Well, let's talk about this one, the expansion set here. See, there's perforation here. And a little gum. If I figure out if this came out this year, I'm going to chew on that gum later. It says a number 6 on this bag. Actually, a lot of parts here. Okay, well, I see. So this is an alternate helmet. It'll have an antenna. The only issue is there's no antenna here. So what I'm, oh no, it's right there. I'm a moron. Never mind. So these displays are getting dull. In the few videos I've done, you know, making models, they're just not, they don't cut very smooth. You see it's like tearing the plastic. So I have a feeling that expensive hobby cutters are not worth buying. It's hard to say. You know, I'll have to switch over to some cheaper ones and see if they last the same amount of time, or if they die even more quick, you know, after a certain amount of cuts. What I don't know is if you can sharpen these single-sided cutters. You know, every time you cut, it's literally hitting this flat metal surface, and I think that's partially why it might be dulling. Alright, well anyways, so you put this antenna thing in here. Pretty decent friction fit. You might want to glue it though if you want to be really safe about it. So let's pop this head off. I find that it's easier to leave the head on. I'm going to hold the nose down and then try to pry the top of the helmet off like that. Because if you try to do it with the whole thing off, it's really difficult because there's 3 pins holding this thing down. Okay, well that's what it looks like with the antenna. Maybe it's like a Commander Geara Zulu now. So what else do we have? Here's some ammo packs. And that's whatever that is. Okay. Oh, I see. So you got these, holes here, or slots. That's what these could go into. I don't know if it matters what side. It's possible it actually makes a difference what side. So just looking at the box, so you'll see, the top of the mags have these two little dots. So that's the top, and they curve inwards like this, at least on the box. I suppose you could put them in the opposite way. It's not very flush. I don't know, but it's better than just having a bunch of rectangular holes there. So that's that part there. Just try to make sense of this. Oh, it's a different backpack, I see. So also there's a peg hole here, so you could take the gun if you wanted to, and just, there's a little bit of a peg here, and so you can store the gun on the backpack there. Now, going to take this backpack off, hopefully. Not so easy. So we'll pop this one on. There's 3 pegs here, so what's the deal? There's no rear view of this thing on the box. It's possible this doesn't even belong to this figure, but I see what's going on. That goes there. This tube goes into this. But might be better off doing it before you put this on the robot. Do this first, this peg here. Is that in? Now it's in. This is hollow. I just heard something crack. I feel like you could take this apart, or maybe it's glued together. I just heard it crack again. Okay. So there's only one peg holding this whole front half on, but there's a lot of friction, so, oh, I see, it's the square peg also. The square and the circle are holding this thing. Alright, so it's definitely cool. These giant, like, booster like tanks. And this must go here. You got the big and the small peg. Although I don't know why they would just want to have one peg in the middle, because all the thing is equal. Oh, I guess that's not equidistant. Never mind. Nice deep cavities you could add paint to. And then you have a crazy gun. You could just peg it in right here, an underarm cannon. Like that. But the hand is going to have a... I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the hand around that. Maybe I will. I might have to take it off the torso, but I think you could get the hand around that. Alright, it's nice it has a ray dome. But what is this thing now? And also this and this. So I have a feeling the gun actually goes on a different side. That's the only image I'm working off of here. It looks like there's a bazooka, but it's not part of this kit. So you can pivot it, but I feel like something's not right. But this can also go in here as like an antenna. Okay. There's no peg on this side, so I think maybe that's gonna stay there. Now what is this thing? This has... I have a feeling there's an arm or something that goes in here. See, there's a little circle in there, so I think this is supposed to friction fit around that tiny little stub. Yeah. Alright, so yep, that's kind of neat. Again though, the handle, it just seems like it's on the wrong side. But now this though might be an adapter for it though. And just trying to figure this out as I go here. So I think if this was to face up, I could get the hand down on it. Oh, but see, it's having a hard time reaching. Unless... But then it's way too close. Bend the elbow. Somehow this is supposed to fit on there. This extra hand thing. The other thing I can do is put this on the other way. I'm noticing this cannon is two pieces. There's an air gap right here. So you might want to glue that shut if it bothers you. So now I'm going to put this thing towards the inside. Like this. I don't know how that's going to work either. I don't think it's supposed to go into the forearm. Or is it? Right now it's a bit of a mystery. I just don't see this arm engaging with this thing. The hand, that is. Get this shield out of the way. You see what's going on? It's just so far away. But then if I twist this around this way, it now becomes way back here. And it doesn't make sense at all, right? But then it doesn't make sense that it's in this position because there's no way the hand's going to go around that. So I'm quite positive it has to go on this way. But somehow, if I move the gun back, it is back. I just can't, it's just a little short. Oh, there we go. It looks a little weird. Oh, wait. We can bend that up. Get that there. Alright, I think that's pretty much as good as I'm going to get it. Let's see if this shield will go back on. guess if you wanted to, you could dual wield. Because there's nowhere to store that rifle back here anymore. Oh, there's a peg here though. But there's no hole in the rifle. So I'm not sure what this peg would be for. Alright. Anyways, I think I got as much as I could onto that. You know, I had to replace the helmet part in the backpack to have this crazy booster tank one, which I definitely prefer. And then this is problematic, of course, but it won't pivot if you glue it in place. So I run into a problem. The hole here is not, I don't think, 3 millimeters. This is a standard Gundam arm. See, that's 3 millimeters. This is a Gundam Converge thing, 3 millimeters. This is the sprue these parts came off of, which is 2.4. So 2.4 fits in there very loose, right? But the 3, it just doesn't want to go in. It's just, look at it's bigger than the width of the hex. So it's like a 2.8 if I had to guess. It's strange. I don't know why they would make the hole that small and not just make it for, unless you force it. Hold on. I guess that's the goal. You gotta really force it in there. This one's not tall enough though, so yeah, hold on a second. This is like a 1/12 scale action figure stand, but it has a 3 millimeter peg. Alright, so you gotta wiggle it in and force it in, but I think it definitely looks better on a stand. This stand's obviously a little bit too high. You can see the bottom of the feet, but I think I'll try to find a lower arm, and so it's floating lower so you don't see the bottom of the feet. I've seen other people build these and fill in the gaps with like putty, but I'm not going to bother right now. Okay, size comparison wise, here's an STCS. This is the CS frame, the taller frame of a Zaku 2. So you can see it's not in the same realm. You know, it's definitely too big. And so here's a regular ST frame. So it's not the taller frame like the red one. It's still quite a different scale, you know. It's possible you could put them next to each other because Gundams do vary in size, but to me it just doesn't fit so well. And then Converge is really, I think, out of the question. I mean, this thing is tiny compared to this guy. So Bandai is smart, you know. They have all these different scales of stuff and they want you to collect all of them. And me being not so smart, I'm falling into their trap. I just really enjoy these simple figures, the cute deformed ones. I don't really build the realistic Gundam so much. I've done that in the past, long before YouTube existed. Okay, well, anyways, I gotta say, this turned out a lot better than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be like a piece of garbage, really, because it wasn't expensive. But all in all, like, all the things are there. There's no giant random openings. The closest bit would be on the rifle, that having some hollowing, and then obviously the bottom of the feet, but that's not so bad, the bottom of the feet. So I think maybe later, don't be surprised to see more videos on these, because I like some of the other robots. And some of the other robots don't exist in Converge. In fact, I don't think Converge has ever done a Geara Zulu. I couldn't find one in my collection. All I have are like Geara Dogas and Zaku 2s. So I'm gonna look into buying some more of these if I can get them at a good price. So, and then maybe I'll do a different video after I detail them up, just to see where you could actually go in one of these. Alright, so thanks for watching, guys. A long video, sorry, but you know real time now how long it takes to mess around with this thing. Thanks for watching. See ya.